Hey guys, how are you today? Just want to come on and talk about a subject that I've been noticing everybody been talking about, and I want to really go in on this subject because I feel like we have a lot of misconceptions, but we have a good reason for it and we have a bad reason for it. And you got to realize why a lot of people are struggling with herpes because they were in this situation as well. And a lot of people think they're not going to get herpes because of this situation as well. So let me be honest with you. This topic is condoms is not enough to protect you from herpes. A lot of people's like, on my first video, a lot of people saying you should have used condoms. If you used condoms, you wouldn't be in this situation. I know you didn't use a condom. You met that dude 2 days ago and then you didn't use a condom. Guys, let me be real with y'all. I use protection, okay? Okay? I use protection. So with that being said, he wasn't even the person who gave it to me, okay? Even with the last guy, use protection. So with that being said, you have to understand that condoms are not 100%. They're not. You can still get herpes with a condom. Let me explain how. Herpes is a skin-to-skin contact virus. So that's mouth to mouth. That's mouth to genitals, genitals to genitals, okay? So with that being said, when you have that skin-to-skin contact, that is when the virus is transmitted the most, okay? So I know a lot of people are worrying like, oh, can I pass through my towels? No, guys. The chance of that is like that small, like that very, very, very small. People worry about if I can pass it through my fork, spoons, and also with drinking from somebody. When I say it's just that darn small, because at the end of the day, the virus doesn't last that long and you're not getting enough of it for you to contract it. Not saying it, but it's that small, guys. It's like very, very low. Really, the virus is being transmitted through skin-to-skin contact, okay? So with the condom, you put a condom on the penis, okay? Finger, put the condom on the penis. You have everything here, his penis hairs. You have his sternum, his balls here. We're going to keep it real. Keep his balls down here. Female, you have her vagina here, okay? Her vagina. She got her lips here. Her anal is down here. The inside of her lips are still open. They're not protected. So when you touch, here, there, everything is touching, okay? Look, everything is touching. His stuff is touching hers. Her stuff is touching his. So with that being said, you have to understand that condom is only is covering his penis up to here. It's only covering up to here. It's only covering her inside. Okay, so everything around is still being exposed to the virus. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of you are like, well, I know you're not having sex with somebody if they got a outbreak or something like this. I'm telling y'all, herpes can come as forms as little cuts, like little paper cuts or razor cuts. They can come as abrasions, red spots. It can come as little pimples, like hair bumps. So my whole thing, a lot of people are having symptoms and they have no clue. They're having an outbreak and they have no clue. Some people are having itching, burning, all that stuff, and they're knocking it off. For guys, it's jock itch. It's for women, it's yeast infection, bacteria, vaginosis, or trichomoniasis. Okay, sorry, or trichomoniasis, something like that. I always say that word wrong. But we say it's a UTI. So with that being said, it's being misdiagnosed thinking it's one thing, which that's not fully a lie, because you'll go in and you do have those things, but they're not testing you for other things, because you'll leave, get your medicine, and then boom, you have another thing. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's something else going on. So let me tell you guys, condoms do not, let me tell you again, condoms do not, they're not 100%. I'm not telling you not to use it. That'd be crazy. That'd be stupid. Police telling people not to use condoms, that's dumb. Come on now, y'all. Like, yes, you'll use protection. It's gonorrhea, chlamydia, HIV, HPV, I don't know, syphilis. It's so much other stuff. These viruses are getting very complex. There's other STDs out here, y'all don't know nothing about. They're even to a point that chlamydia is almost to a point where it cannot be cured. So my whole thing is, don't be thinking like, I'm good, I'm using protection. No, the best thing to do is get tested. And that's what we're really failing, because we're not asking for proper testing. Just because, and I'm blessed that some of you guys are blessed. I'm happy that you're blessed. But some people, doctors are testing for everything, and most people, doctors are not. So with that being said, you have to open your mouth and say, I want gonorrhea, chlamydia, all of that stuff, and herpes, and force them, because you'll have doctors say, well, you're not having outbreaks, I'm not testing you. And you said, since you're not testing me, I'm deucing. Okay? And go to another doctor until you find a doctor who do. Most doctors feel like it's not necessary to test you until you have the outbreak. Oh, that's dumb, because now you're testing me after I already have the virus, where I could try to prevent it. If I knew year after year I did not have it, then I have an idea where I got it from, if that guy had ever been tested, Or did he ever know? Or did he ask for the proper test? Because most people, you can be clean or you cannot have an STD, but the person that you're dealing with is. So if you're good, you might as well ask them the same questions. Say, hey, when the last time you've been tested for blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying, have the last time you've been tested? No, you need to tell them what have you, ask them what they've been tested for. Because most people are not being tested for herpes. They're just not, guys. And honestly, condoms are great. You can use condoms all day. But I'm telling you, you come in contact with that virus, the chance you get it is very high. Very high, because condoms is just not enough. So the scream of, you should have used condoms, I'm sorry. I hope you don't think that condom is going to keep you from getting herpes. Because it's not. It's just not. So that misconception of safe sex, herpes is no safe sex to it. It's education. You want safe sex with herpes? It's education. You want to not get herpes? You need education. You need to be very educated on how herpes work and how you can protect yourself. And honestly, protecting yourself is asking questions and getting tested. That's the most important thing for you to do. Keep yourself tested and keep that person tested. Now, another thing that's really tricky about herpes is the fact of it can be dormant. A lot of you guys are getting tested and it's saying negative. That's not, may not be fully true. A lot of people get false negatives, false positive. I had a false negative my first time I got the herpes test. Later on, boom, here it comes out of nowhere, or I may not have it and I could have got it from another guy, whatever. So with that being said, the things like that happen. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm good. I've been tested a long time ago. You need to go get tested again, because the thing about it is it could be dormant now and then floor out. Your numbers are higher. So let me tell you how they look for herpes. Number one, they look on an index value. So they're looking at this index value to determine which those numbers that you read on your labs are very, very vital. Okay. So they're looking at these numbers, say if you have herpes or you don't. So if you're negative, you're positive. If you have HSV1, HSV2, they'll tell you positive, negative, or they'll have the numbers on the side, which y'all don't know what those are, but they're vital, okay? Don't let them ever tell you those numbers don't matter. Yes, they do, okay? So they look at those numbers and they determine if you have the virus or not. So those numbers are so low, they would say, okay, you don't have it. But you could have it. It's just at the time the numbers are not that high. And I have ladies come to me all the time and say, I went and I got tested, my numbers are high, I had it, and then the next time I went tested, they were low, they were dormant. That happens. That even happens with HIV, guys. I know people who have HIV, and with that being said, their number count will be high, stating that they have it, and they get tested again, and they're so motherfucking low where it's not detectable. So with that being said, you have to be very wise to understand. You have to know how this test works and to constantly getting yourself tested to make sure you in good standing. Just getting tested once out of a year is not good enough, guys. I tell you, I suggest you get tested twice or more than that, depending on how many partners you have, okay? Because with that being said, those numbers change over time. Because 1 month you good, next month you're different, okay? And a lot of people will get the, it's nothing, it's no big deal from doctors, but I'm telling you guys, you must pressure them to test you, because they don't think it's a big deal. Guys, it is a huge deal if you want to deal with, it's people dealing with depression, suicidal thoughts. They're dealing with anxiety like no other. So many things because they have herpes, and nobody's saying anything to help them. Nobody's being there to comfort them. It's people out here being mean and nasty. Thank God I'm a strong person. If I won't, I think I'll be breaking down too, but I'm very strong and I'm very successful at what I do, and I'm successful in my life, so I'm not really concerned. But at the end of the day, it's some people who are not there. I would haven't always been here where I'm able to take hits and punches and stuff from other people. But it's some people who read stuff and it breaks them down, thinking like, my life is over. I'm never going to have anybody. Look what he said. He said he would never talk to a girl who had this. She's a whore. She's this, she that, she that. And people look at that stuff and it breaks them down because they're like, man, I didn't ask for this. I was in a serious relationship. I did just meet the guy the other day, but we hit it off right away. We wasn't expecting to have sex, but we had sex. We used protection. And I still got it. So it's just so many different situations, even with people who have been in relationships over a long period of time. Let me say something. Let me say this and let me be real with you guys. I don't know anybody truthfully who's been in a relationship with somebody for over 6+ months and still using protection. I'm just going to be real, guys. Like, being honest. If you're in a long-term relationship, you're with this guy over 6 months, 8 months, whatever, are you still using protection? If you are, I'm so proud of you. But to be real, I can ask so many people, they are not. They just absolutely not. I think this is a trust thing. And honestly, I want to say this. Don't trust people because of time. Trust people because of their character, their abilities, their not liabilities, but Just trust them based off their character and what they say they're going to do and they're doing it. You know, just really look at character and trust that they will do it based off that. And that's so crazy because that was my word of the day is trust. Trust, trust, trust. My whole thing, trust does have nothing to do with time frame. It does have everything to trust their a character. And a lot of us, honestly, we're trusting people with our bodies because of time, not trusting our bodies because of character. Because when we look at character of the guys or the girls that we're dealing with, you're like, you know what? They're not 100% on the things they do for their selves or take care of their selves. Why would I trust them in my body and let up and not use protection with them, okay? So I'm talking to people who are in relationships. If you're in a relationship, I strongly suggest you still use protection, okay? You're married, it's a different situation. But if you're just in a relationship, please use protection, especially if you don't want to get pregnant. But there's other things out here, guys. Now, if y'all decide y'all want to do this, y'all need to have a very clear of what y'all doing. But I'm being honest. Honestly, y'all, you are not nothing until y'all put a ring on it. Like, for real, for real. Until he proposed to you, then the commitment could really be real. But in that time frame of dating, nobody's really, honestly, a lot of people are not taking relationships seriously. And it's sad to hear, but it's the truth. My son, turn the TV on, y'all. Come on. Come on. Come on. So with that being said, you got to understand that you need to still protect yourself. Now, if that's something y'all decide to do, you know, after a couple of years or whatever, I don't care what time frame, it's up to you two. But if it's up to you, y'all guys need to be very, very cautious and paying attention to that person and making sure you can trust that person. Because people out here cheating and all this other stuff, got a double life. They're saying that they're not married or saying that they're single and they're really not. And you get fooled and you're really trusting this person with your body and that person is not for real. So my whole thing is I say until y'all make a commitment of marriage of any sort together, that I wouldn't say doing that. I'm just being honest because I was a girl. I had been with some guys and I did not use protection. That was stupid because when I looked at their track record, their track record wasn't the best. Okay, they were doing all types of stuff. I was like, why am I trusting this guy? You know, period. Yeah, I got time on. I've been knowing him all my life for all this stuff. I've been knowing for a long period of time, but that's not enough. That's just not enough to be, you know, putting your body at risk for somebody. You know, truthfully. But most importantly, like I say, even with the condoms, guys, it's just not enough. Education is the best sex education. I mean, the best sex. Education is the best safe sex. Yes. Y'all know me. My motto is education first, testing, getting proper testing, asking for proper testing, and proper condom usage. Proper. I mean, not a dry condom. I'm not talking about an old beat up condom. I'm talking about something that's very, very safe. And also not having oral sex without any protection as well, guys. You can't say I'm doing safe sex and you're having oral sex with people without any protection. You set yourself up, okay? I have done it before, okay? I'm not talking to you like, oh, Belisa's a saint. No, motherfucker, I'm not a saint, okay? I have done it before. And I was like, darn, that was so stupid. Then I'm going to tell him to put on a condom for what now? I got it all in my mouth, you know, type thing. So my whole thing is making sure you're using proper things. Don't get suckered into, I don't want to use condoms. I don't do that. Then deuce. Because I don't have time for it. Because there's too much stuff out here, guys. Thank God I only have herpes. I could have had HIV, which I do have friends who have it. And they're not dying. You know, they're in a good state. They're married, things like that. But still, it's things out here that people just don't want to deal with or can have a bigger impact on your body. So my whole thing, if you don't have it and you watching this video, for you to stay at the state of healthy without any STDs, you must educate yourself. That means not just watching me, that getting in here, you know, looking up the information and going to liable sources. Don't just be going to blog sites. Oh God, those people don't always know what they're talking about. Okay, guys? But really taking time, go to the American Sexual Health Association, go to the CDC, go to places that you know the information is liable. They're really telling you the right stuff. I understand you don't always like it, but I say I love the American Sexual Association the best because it's clear cut. You know what they're talking about. They give you the basic information. They give you the stats. They give you everything that typically CDC is not giving. Just to be honest, you know, CDC is, you know, they're on a bigger scale, so they focus on other things. But the American Sexual Association is more detail on sexual health. So I say that's the best one to go to look for information, guys. So with that being said, I just want to come to you guys and tell you that condoms is not enough. So stop hollering. You should have used condoms. You should have. I did, and I'm still here. Okay, so with that being said, it's people who use condoms and got pregnant. So you can't say that. I know people who use birth control and still got pregnant. Okay, so with that being said, you can't pull that all the time when the person still used their protection and they're still put in a situation. So my whole thing is very vital for you to understand how herpes function and how it's transmitted. It's skin to skin contact. It's not saliva, only if it's come in contact, just if you had a cold sore and you drinking with your saliva and it came, on your straw and stuff like that. Now I understand what you're saying, but it's not in saliva, it's not in blood, it's not in breast milk, it's not in any of that stuff. This is not HIV yet. And let me tell you something else, guys. Please stop saying that you have herpes, you're gonna get HIV or you're gonna die. I'm tired of hearing that mess. Okay, when people say herpes, when they say herpes and HIV, look, if you have herpes, your chances are higher to get HIV because you're open. Your immune system is low, plus you have open wounds, okay? Because our skin don't heal completely after those blisters. They heal, but they're not completely healed like they were before. So with that being said, if you came in contact with somebody who had HIV and, you have an open wound or anything of that nature, then that chance of that virus getting into your system and you having HIV. That's the only reason. No, you're not automatically getting HIV because you have herpes. Guys, that don't make any sense. And who said that? Okay? Like, that don't make any sense, guys. I think more people who are HIV will have herpes too, which I have learned that too, but that's not always the case. My whole thing, stop saying that. That's not true, okay? It is a higher risk. That's why I say, guys, if you do have herpes, still use protection, please. Please, because you don't want it, because you're a higher risk for it, okay? And people who don't have anything at all, you want to just be very aware that HIV is real, y'all. Like, it is. It's no games. I know people who have it. It's no games. You want to protect yourself against it. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Hayden.
Okay, so with that being said, you want to protect yourself against it, and the only other way to truly protect yourself from HIV is condoms. So my whole thing is, yeah, condoms are not 100% for herpes. It's nothing wrong with still using them. I strongly suggest you still use them, but at the end, especially if that person have their blisters like up close, at the top of their vaginal area, or the guy has it right there on his pubic. Turn the TV off. Pubic area. Things like that, then I completely understand that. Come on. I completely understand that. But other than that, it's not going to help as much. But the best thing is education, asking questions, and going from there. So I hope that helped y'all a whole lot. And I'll be talking to y'all soon. Bye.